Hello once again gamers, we hope you have been keeping well and gaming endlessly while waiting for this week's episode of This Week in Gaming. This week has been exciting, so buckle up for a ride. First up, it appears screenshots from the cancelled game Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines 2 by Activision has been leaked online. After the success of Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines in 2004, Activision made its name in the RPG genre and the game itself managed to gather a huge fan audience. Seeing this success, Paradox Interactive started to work on a sequel of the game. The sequel was announced officially in 2019, but unfortunately, it had to see many delays. The developers of the game also changed. Recently, there have been images of the cancelled version of Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines 2 circulating online. The screenshots were shared by the designer Victor Blank, who worked on the game himself. We got to see the amazing graphics of the game along with the Quest UI screen. From characters to storyline, everything seemed perfectly polished. However, this version will not be released, so we can only hope that the new developers will be able to create a similar masterpiece. Moving ahead, a footage has emerged online that shows what happened in the cancelled Scarface 2 that was set to release in 2008. After Scarface was released in 2006, the sequel was put into work soon after that. But soon after, the sequel got cancelled after Activision acquired the Radical Entertainment, which was the parent company of the Scarface franchise. The information was released in a YouTube video by Mafia Game Videos. Mafia Game Videos was also one of the two developers who worked on the game. They also released some screenshots of the cancelled sequel which showed some parts of Las Vegas. A footage was also released later that showed the gameplay of Scarface 2. Now we can only hope for a sequel of Scarface 2, which to be honest seems impossible at this point. In another news, it has been revealed that the famous pop star Michael Jackson has indeed wrote Sonic 3's soundtrack. There have been many rumors surrounding the Sonic 3 soundtrack. Many players speculated that the iconic pop star Michael Jackson was the one who wrote this soundtrack. However, they were only rumors until recently the former head of Sega, Yuji Naka, confirmed this rumor in a tweet. He was playing Sonic Origins and tweeted a question that whether the music in Sonic 3 was changed. He then claimed shockingly that it indeed had been changed and that the previous soundtrack was written by Michael Jackson himself. Yuji also shared a pic of him visiting Michael Jackson's residence in a helicopter. It is no doubt that MJ was a big gamer in his days with his very own video game dubbed The Moonwalker. In another news, it seems that Fall Guys players have increased in numbers even though the game had been taken down from Steam. Fall Guys features many elements of Battle Royale but with a different take on it. With jelly beans in cute costumes and a very wholesome and relaxing gameplay, Fall Guys became one of the fan favorites when it was released. Unfortunately, when Among Us was released, Fall Guys faced a decline in the number of players. But thanks to the recent update of Fall Guys, the game seems to be on a rise again. The update made Fall Guys free to play as well, which probably helped restore the game's popularity. Recently, the developers of the game removed the game from Steam, but you can download it on Epic Games. Even though the game was removed, Steam DB charts show us that players increasing day by day with numbers reaching over 59,000. Next up, it seems that Ghost of Tsushima got praised by Tenchu and Kamizawa's developer Takuma Endo. The action-adventure game released in 2020 became a huge success and players loved every bit of the game. The game managed to sell over 8 million copies as of 2022, becoming both critically and commercially acclaimed AAA title. But the developer of Tenchu and Kamizawa, Takuma Endo, believes that the game had a much bigger impact on game developers. He stated that ever since the game's release, more studios want to work on games that would incorporate the Japanese culture. In one of his statements, he claimed that developers weren't very keen on taking projects that involved the Japanese history before Ghost of Tsushima changed that. It is no doubt that Ghost of Tsushima was a huge success. Fans hope they will get to see more games like the Ghost of Tsushima very soon. Moving on to some wizardly news, the official website of Hogwarts Legacy just revealed a list of extras that the players would get in the game. It is no doubt that Harry Potter is loved by people of all ages. From books to the movie franchise, Harry Potter probably has the biggest fan base in the world. Owing to its popularity, many games based on the movies was released, but nothing official came out. Until recently, Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment decided to launch Hogwarts Legacy through its Portkey Games label. The trailer for the game is up, and it seems like Hogwarts Legacy might be the biggest release of the year. Recently, a leaker on Reddit found a whole list of extras while searching the source code for the website. There are many things that the players of Hogwarts will get to see, including the legendary beast, Trestle Mount, Dark Arts cosmetic pack, and even a Dark Arts battle arena. Players can check the list by themselves to see all the extras in the game. In another version, it seems that the Final Fantasy Record Keeper global version might be shutting down after 7 years. Final Fantasy is definitely one of the most popular franchises out there, with almost 15 games under its belt. But that is not all. Final Fantasy also consists of a lot of novels, comics, and CHI movies, and most importantly, mobile games as well. One of the most popular game in the series was the mobile game Final Fantasy Record Keeper, but Square Enix and the developers DeNA announced that the game will shut down officially in September. However, the Japanese version of the game that came out a year ago can still be played. Producer of the game Ichiro Hazama thanked the players for 7 wonderful years. Square Enix says that players can try out Final Fantasy Brave Exvius instead, as it is very much like Final Fantasy Record Keeper. Another news about Sonic Origins. It seems that the PC players have been facing a lot of performance issues in the game. Sonic games have always been loved by everyone, so when Sonic Origins came out, it was expected that many players would try it out for the sake of nostalgia, but according to SteamDB, there are only about 1,000 concurrent players of Sonic Origins. This is kind of shocking because prior to the release of Sonic Origins, there was a lot of hype for the game. The low numerals are mostly due to the bugs and issues that the players are facing while playing Sonic Origins. The game is quite blurry with a lot of buffering. It also runs extremely poor on high-end PCs. The keyboard controls are really messy, and one of the biggest bugs includes Tails getting stuck off the screen. Simon Thomley, who worked on the game, claimed in a series of tweets that there were lots of faults in the Sonic Origins when we turned it in, but the Sonic Origins that came out had a lot of bugs that wasn't their fault. Moving on, there were some voice lines leaked recently that suggest that a new Bandit weapon might be coming to Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite has over 20 weapons to choose from. Most of the players are tired of using these old weapons again and again in Halo Infinite, but it seems that there might be a new weapon coming to Halo Infinite. A data miner uploaded a short audio file online in which the artificial intelligence construct of the game Iris can be heard mentioning something called a Bandit. Players speculate that it might be a new weapon, possibly a rifle. In another leak, we can see some added strings that highlight quote M392 bandit damage source end quote and quote Falcon damage source end quote, suggesting that the bandit might be called M392 bandit, while there is a source of information about Falcon. In another leak, we also get to see the new DMR. However, most of it is just speculation for now, and players are advised to wait for the official statement. In another news, Fall Guys gained 20 million active players in just 48 hours after the free-for-all update. The wholesome game incorporates many battle royale elements, and it couldn't be more adorable. Fall Guys just became popular after a new update that made the game free for all. More than 20 million players joined Fall Guys in just 48 hours after the update. The number has risen mainly due to the game being accessible to everyone. Epic Games congratulated the developers, and we only see success in the future for the Fall Guys franchise. Moving on, in newly released footage, it was recently revealed that main quest along with many characters and dialogues were cut from Fallout 3. Only second to Fallout Vegas, Fallout 3 is definitely the best game in the Fallout series. This led to numerous revisions in the final version of the game. In a recent YouTube video by Triangle City, we get to see all of the major content that was removed from Fallout 3. The questline itself was changed, and there were a lot of characters, dialogue options, areas, and items that were removed from the game. The cut content tweaked with the 240 endings the game had. There was also a new vault called Vault 87 in the video that showed the origin of mutant creatures, but unfortunately all this would never be a part of Fallout 3 since the developers are already working on other titles. Moving on, it was confirmed that EA will be releasing a lot of games in July along with Skate 4. This includes 2 major titles, Need for Speed and FIFA as well. Need for Speed might be released under the title Need for Speed Unbound, but this is just speculation. The game will have meetups where players can get to meet and race. The tracks are rumored to be fairly unique, and the cars will have certain effects like smoke and flame added for aesthetic reasons too. As for FIFA, this title might be the last FIFA game as FIFA and EA are ending their partnership. There will be female players in FIFA 23 with both men and women's World Cups coming in the game. However, there might not be crossplay in the game as rumored, and the title won't be free to play as well, but fans are eagerly waiting for the games to release. In another news, the day before developer calling for volunteers to help with projects. The day before is an upcoming well-known survival horror game that also features multiplayer. Players are hyped for its release because the game looks promising. Players are having high expectations from the game. However, it seems that the release has been delayed because the development of the game was recently shifted to Unreal Engine 5. The developers of the game are looking for volunteers that can help them speed up the process. There will be 2 types of volunteers. The first kind is limited, and these volunteers will be paid full-time. However, there are limited spots available. available. The second kind are part-time volunteers that won't be paid, but they would be compensated via in-game rewards. They would be in charge of translating and moderating the game. This step by the day before developers is sure to speed up the development process. If you are a fan of the Chinese aesthetics, you would be excited to know about a brand new game releasing titled Code to Jin Young. The game is being developed by Lightspeed Studios, that is a popular Chinese game developer franchise derived from Tencent. Recently, the trailer for the game was revealed and players are hyped for this brand new action-adventure game. The official description of the game reveals that it's a tribute to a popular wuxia writer Jin Young. The new game is based on the world created in his wuxia novel series. The trailer shows two men engaged in battle with their blades. Players are looking forward to experience this new single-player game as Tencent decides to enter into a new direction. An upcoming horror game, Scorn, leaked images reveal early main character's prototype. Scorn immerses players into atmospheres that would evoke a sense of disgust and eeriness in the players' minds. The main character of Scorn has finally been leaked and the design is sure to send a chill down your spine. Scorn's visuals have been inspired by a Swiss artist, H.R. Giger, and the main character's design is sure to disturb the fans. In another news, Apple made more in gaming than Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft combined. The gaming industry is one of the most profitable industries in recent times. Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo are known to be Goliath companies when it comes to gaming. However, it seems that Apple has taken the lead. Apple made about $13.5 billion gaming revenue, while the trio of the companies managed to make $6.5 billion. The difference is amazing considering that Apple does not develop games or consoles. Apple mostly generates its profits because it charges game developers 30% of their in-app purchases, subscriptions, and applicable fees revenue. No wonder Apple made such a huge revenue with many mobile games on the rise. NieRAutomata continues to gain popularity even after a decade of its release, and the game has now sold over 6.5 million copies. NieRAutomata is a hack-and-slash action RPG game that features a post-apocalyptic world. The gameplay features three protagonists, 2B, 9S, and A2, as they struggle against the army of robots. The game overshadowed many other titles when it got released due to its amazing direction and storytelling. The game's website announced the game has sold over 6.5 million copies, achieving another milestone. Need for Speed images have seemingly leaked ahead of its reveal. Screenshots were leaked by Just for Leaks 2, and players are excited more than ever. Need for Speed is a popular gaming franchise and also nostalgic for many fans. Not much about the gameplay is known, but the graphics seem very promising. Need for Speed seems to adopt stylized aesthetic combining photorealistic graphics with anime elements. It is expected that the franchise will reveal much more information about the game in July. Saints Row 2022 is an upcoming reboot of the original Saints Row series that gained massive popularity among fans. A new leaked footage has revealed campaign introduction. The video lasts 2 minutes and shows some gameplay. However, it seems that many fans are now showing distaste over the gameplay and that they preferred the original style. The reboot is set to release on August 23, 2022. The reboot would include many features like the character creation and multiplayer co-op. It seems that the poor matchmaking of Halo Infinite just shows that the player counts are misleading. Halo Infinite got massive popularity at the start of its release, however the game declined significantly in the number of players. A lot of players complain that it's hard to find someone to play with recently. Player count for Halo Infinite showed only 5,847 players concurrent on Steam, which is truly disappointing. That's all for this week's episode. We hope to see you again around the same time, same day. Till then, sayonara.